Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for joining us for another Ronin Rambles Podcast, Poverty Edition, where we talk about fighting games and anime. Today, we're joined by our lovely cast of protagonists here. First off, we've got Qiom, the co-host and TO extraordinaire. Say what's up, Qiom.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
Next, we've got the CEO Otaku champion, Tsuntenshi, and the Kirino #1 fanboy.
That's me. I'm that guy.
Then, last but not least, we got Sonic. So what's up, Sonic? Sonic is one of the best players for Grand Blue, commentator, TO, you name it, he does it.
And he could do it all at once.
All at once. That is for sure. So,
Broken.
as always, let me know what the audio is and how it feels. If it's off, let me know. Usually is. But first off, it's been a crazy time, right? These past couple weeks, in fact, this whole year. Just wanted to check up on you guys and see how you guys are holding up. We can start with Qiom. How you doing?
Yeah, I mean, as I'm sure some of you guys may know, because I've been pretty vocal about it. Like, this is something that's that I've it's obviously something I'm passionate about, like as a minority, and seeing friends get hurt and stuff. It's like, man, like it's insane. Like I took 2 weeks off of streaming. Like I started finally streaming like 3-4 days a week, and then I was like, my mentality is not there. Like I want to focus on what's important, and like I just took 2 weeks off, and I'm gonna start streaming again next week, but like I'm glad I took that break, because like to try and be like change my mentality on the fly like that, I was like, I cannot do that. I can't.
Yeah, it's an interesting time to say the least.
Mhm.
Tsuntenshi, how you been doing?
Still alive, not sick. No signs of the corona that I hope no one's forgotten about. Lots of stuff happening. Whenever you look at anyone's timeline, I think doing what I can to support, doing what I can to help spread the word. Um, Trying to stay mentally positive at times when things start to look dark and grim.
Yeah,
That's kind of where I'm at right now.
no, I feel it. And Sonic, I know you've been very vocal about it, and you have a lot to say. So floor is yours.
Got you. So I was going into last week, trying to take a break anyway because I wanted to avoid burnout. Because I do levitation, I also do the Ronin Rumble stuff. I was doing recently a Discord lobby series, but I basically was doing a lot of things and replay Rumble as well. So just to take my mind off of Grand Blue for a week or when I was going to take a break, but then the world decided to explode. This whole thing happened. George Floyd, rest in peace to him. But with that happening and the whole world essentially being mad at something that has been indoctrinated for over 400 plus years, if not more, in the systemic racism, which is basically what it is, that's been brought up within the system. For me, it hit me, because of my color, and also because there's a lot of opportunities, even big and small, that just get taken away from me because of that. And in terms of the civil rights type stuff, like I did a stream actually where I was very vocal about it, where I went on about 7 hours actually, going through history, basically, not just explaining my side of it, but expressing that this has been a continuing cycle within our country. And so I graduated from my college with a law and society degree, Bachelor of Arts. So having that on me, I know I do all this fighting game stuff, but I also have the fact of this is kind of a responsibility for me, and I didn't have any other way but to kind of voice my, what I thought with the platform that I had. So that's what I did, and I don't regret that. I think that it's important that we talk about these issues, that it's being brought up now, and seeing how the world is, people are at least listening a little bit, in terms of everyone having that joint unison thought of, hey, we've got to actually end the systemic problem. We've got to end police brutality. We have to end, hopefully, these reoccurring problems within history. So I mentioned a lot of people like Charles Hamilton Houston, who was a famous lawyer who ended up, setting precedent for the decision for Brown versus Board of Ed, which ended segregation, or the idea of Plessy versus Ferguson, separate but equal. And then obviously you had the civil rights movement with Malcolm X, MLK, a lot of different people that paved the way for later on the civil rights acts that would be passed. And despite all of that, there's still this indirect discrimination that exists. And so we're seeing now that the world is essentially crying out, being like, we need to fix this. So I'm hoping that with enough effort, the masses can reach the voices that need to be heard. And for me personally, on my end, I thought of solutions that what we could do. I was happy to know that Ronin Rumble did a charity event that I could take part of in that 5v5. And that helped out to a donation. I chose Campaign Zero for police reform. I think my opponents chose specifically where they live with Chicago, with their donation fund as well. But all in all, it affected us. It changed how we approach things in terms of what we do, right? Qiom, right? He also mentioned how he couldn't do things due to what was going on. It changed his mentality, while other people had to bring focus to this event through their platform. And you can't avoid talking about it. You just can't. It's still happening. It's still happening. We still have to try and find a way to fight this. And it sucks that we go through this as a country, but we got to do what we got to do, right? Just so we can change reality for the better. So I'm happy Ronin Rumble did their thing. I'm happy I could help. I'm happy that I made somewhat of a difference. Even if it was small, it was enough to actually try and make a change. And I hope COVID doesn't bite us in the ass either, because we've been in our houses for like 6 months now, essentially, almost half the year. And for me, that's a halt on my life personally, and it's a halt on many other people's lives. And then there's a fear that it's outbreaking. Like, I don't know if you guys heard recently on the news, but I think some of the DC officers, the DC military officers, some of them got COVID after like some of the demonstrations. So it's really hitting everybody. Like it's no joke. That's why when Tsuntenshi mentioned that, I think that's the next big problem too, is like, how are we going to handle this outbreak with, these riots and all this other stuff going on and the protests. So that, and if the DC officers got it, what makes you think the protesters didn't get it either? Exactly. So, I think there's a lot to take in. There's a lot to deal with, but we all know what the problem is, and we're all trying to find solutions in our own way. So, I mean, personally, for me, one of the main things I say, we have to vote, right? You have to absolutely vote. Take advantage of your rights, right? Like, even though, right, it may feel as though the system is against us, you still have the right to vote as a mass. And if we can bring people in, like, this is what, at least I know from what Malcolm X said, if we can get people that share our ideology, that share our idea of getting rid of racism and eliminating it out of our system, then vote in those people that can do that. And let us also teach these people so that way they can be ready and betterly equipped to, handle the political arena. Charles Hamilton Houston, as I mentioned before, who was that famous lawyer, he attacked Plessy versus Ferguson through precedent within the law. And so, if we attack through these arenas, there's a good chance we can make some change. And so I think that's what we have to do.
Yeah, and to add on to that, I just want to say, like, mad respect for like the people in Georgia, where they had like a lot of their polling places closed and they waited in like 5 hours.
Yeah,
so they can make their voices heard.
And the lines was long. The lines were mad long.
You can see it, like a helicopter was going up and the line was still stretching out. They couldn't get a full view of it.
That's amazing.
It was insane. And they waited. They waited there, like I said, 5 hours, some even longer, just so they can get their vote in. And that's dedication right there, man.
Yeah. So, again, that's power right there. That's power within the people. So all we can do is just use the system against our oppressors. If they're using it against us, we must use it against them.
Yep.
So
Yeah. No, I couldn't say it better myself. I think it's really important for us to, especially educate ourselves with what's going on in the world right now, because it's just these are two life-changing events that's going on simultaneously: COVID-19 and the protests, Black Lives Matter. It's These are life-changing events that are going on, and it's crazy that they're happening at the same time.
Yeah.
But just educate yourself, try to understand what the situation is. It's this is a moment that you'll be telling your kids and possibly even
Yeah.
grandchildren and whatnot. So, it's
So
it's important time in our world today, and just try to get familiar with it because it's important, and go out and then vote.
yep.
But yeah, if anyone else has anything any last words on that, please say so. I'll give you the time. But if not, we can move on to something a little bit lighter.
Real quick, I know a lot of people are struggling out there. Like I like financially, like personally, I was also in a rut. But if you can't donate but would like to still support, like make sure to just look up playlists on YouTube and watch them and like make the ads go through so
Yep.
that that money goes towards the funds. Because that's what I've been doing. Like
Mm,
I'll turn on my computer before work and like I'll have a playlist going on. And then I'll go to work, come back, make sure that like it all went through, and then like I'll just close it or like keep it going depending on what I'm doing.
And I guess what I'll add in regards to voting and getting your your vote and your voice heard, for everyone out there, look into any, like, if you're worried about COVID or long lines or just not being able to have the ability to chance to vote of how long these lines are. Look into like mail-in ballots
Mhm.
for your
Yeah.
state.
For
Those are,
absentee votes.
yeah,
Yep.
look into those for sure.
yeah, yeah, definitely. It's important. But yeah, if that's what everyone's got to say on that, then thank you for giving everyone your opinion on the matter, and yeah, let's move on. So today was a pretty special day for a particular game named Samurai Showdown,
Mm.
and if you guys don't know, it's the Samurai Showdown 7 is going to be on Epic Game Store, but right now, what is also on the Epic Game Store is the Samurai Showdown Collector's Edition, or what is it called? The Collector's,
Neo Geo
the Neo
Samurai
Geo.
Showdown collection.
Ah,
Samurai Showdown
yes.
Neo Geo collection.
Exactly. So that's free. That is free. All you have to do is sign up, and
Till
it's all
June
yours.
18th.
Yep. It's a priced at $40, I believe. So if you want to save $40, you get it forever. So go out there and download it. It's they're all really good games. You won't
Yep.
regret it. Like, it's free. Literally, just go out and get it. But yeah, as well as I wanted to talk about the anime versus Capcom 10v10 that
Okay.
happened this Sunday. It was at the Ronin Rumble, and it had a bunch of the very high level players from both the anime fighting game genre and the Capcom
Mhm.
Well,
players as well.
I wouldn't say all of them were high
High level-
level.
They were high
in their
level,
game.
but not
High
in
level
the
in their game.
game that they were chosen to play in.
They're high level in some Capcom game, not necessarily high level Capcom players in Granblue.
Rambling.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, some of
Yeah.
them definitely tried it out the first week, and they were doing really well. Or first month, I should say, and they were doing super well. But then they just kind of went on to other things, went back to the games that they were playing before.
Well, remember that COVID hit. So
Yep.
a lot of the people that were playing offline, Punk being one of them, by the way, who was playing Catalina. I think he played a different character and he played Catalina, but then he switched to Zeta. But he was playing at Wednesday Night Fights offline, and then I haven't seen him play the game until recently. So, a lot of people kind of dropped the game once COVID happened because nobody wants to play online, right? So,
Yep.
It's a good point.
No one
Yeah.
likes online of Granblue.
Yeah,
That includes me.
it's a kind of a tragedy for this game right now because it's such a good game. It's
It really
it's
is.
really polished and it's a lot of fun. It's just the online it's not rollback, and
Nope.
it's just like it's still
No,
it's
okay,
one of the
let's-
better delay based netcodes that I played on personally. But like, it's
So let's clarify something. When you say it's not rollback, we mean it's not good rollback,
Oh
because I don't
yeah,
know if I, like
Fighter 5.
you guys know that I'm a big Tekken guy, and I think it was last night or the night before. It was very recent. Harada said that Tekken has rollback netcode, and
yeah.
that right there was everyone's reaction. That right there was everyone's reaction.
It's like, does he even know?
He's just like, we do have rollback. Shut the fuck up. And it's like I don't know, Harada. I don't know, Harada.
You're
That's
cool
And
guy,
he
Harada,
was
but
just
we
saying
gotta
that
talk.
like they had like issues with like the 3D stuff, that like they couldn't tighten their rollback, and I'm like, I mean, I have friends that said like I've seen it like have rollback where like something happens and then like the hit animation just freezes and goes away, but I'm like, it's not significant to the point where it matters. It's like, remember guys, rollback doesn't mean good. Good rollback means good.
Good back. Good rollback.
Good
means.
back.
Yep.
Good
Good
back.
back. Good back.
You got that good back? Hey, Harado,
Yes, Street
Harado, when
Fighter
you gonna
5,
get that
man.
good back?
Yeah, Street
That's a
Fighter 5
very
definitely
great
gave
Street
Rollback a
Fighter
bad
5.
name. It's
I
I remember that.
I
That was
mean,
my first experience of Street Fighter Online because I didn't really play Street Fighter 4, so I went to Street Fighter 5. Like, okay, let me play my buddy. Never mind, I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah, because like,
Tell
dude,
us.
I still signed up. I still signed up like up until like the very last local that we had here in Colorado. I would still sign up for Street Fighter 5. I mean, it's a fun game. I have a lot of fun playing it. I think it's great, but I just I will never play it online. Like I've played online with my friends in the same state, and I'm like, I can't do this. I mean, same thing with Tekken. I love both of those games, but I just can't play them online.
yeah, it's unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate. Like when you're trying to play someone in the same state, like for my case, it's like NorCal, SoCal.
Mhm.
It's not terrible, but it's like it's just not the same. It's
Yeah.
not
The
even
quality
close.
of it. The quality of it is bad because you see a lot of stutter and teleport. So it's just like
Yeah,
Especially if you're a reactionary player, because like a lot of times, like I'll do some stupid shit. Like as soon as I see the opponent like throw out a move or something, and I'll catch him with it offline. But when I'm playing online, I'm like, I can't even react to any of this. Like
they all have special teleports.
I can't. I I can't play Mika online. I'll play G online. I'll fucking stomp people with G. 'Cause, like, the brain switch turns off.
Of course.
yeah, I feel that.
But
But
about the 10
but yeah,
people?
yeah, 10v10. Like we were saying, it was between players who've been keeping up with the game and players who may or may not have been. I'm not sure who decided the teams on
I can
PG
explain a
side.
little bit about that.
Oh,
I can explain a little bit about the team decision because it was
Hmm.
actually mentioned on Twitter. There's a
Okay.
post for it. I know that what was discussed was that they had. I know Justin Wong was the first person that was picked for Team Capcom. I don't know who was picked for Team Arxis, but they asked Justin to pick a few people for the team, right? And I know they asked a couple of other people on the Arxis side, right? And then they started to last minute pick people. Like I got picked. I was one of the last people to get picked for Grand Blue. But on the team was like Jay Wong, Punk. It was Apology Man, Super Noon, and then I think it was one other person that
Chris
was
G.
there. Yeah, Chris G. And then after that, like it was just all up in the air. Like nobody on our team, we didn't know who was going to be on it. And at that point, I was like, okay, well, I'm here now. I only got on the team because Tega was selected to be on there, and then Tega referenced me.
Okay.
So it's like, the teams weren't. And Justin probably picked people that he would deem would be good, right? But I don't know if any thought was given in terms of the current Grand Blue scene, like who's actually continuing to play the game, even though it's online, right? So that was one of the biggest issues for me. The thing is, on the Arxis side, however, you had killer after killer after killer. So it was like the power imbalance was just way too high. Like you only really had me, Chris G, Tega, and then there was one other
Marlon Pie?
person,
Marlon Pie.
Marlon Pie, obviously, Doi, Marlon Pie. So you had 4 people out of the team of 6 that didn't play the game or gave up on the game. So it's like that alone was bad. And then the other thing is the day before the tournament, right? Well, the day before the exhibition, rather, we were told it was going to be on PC. We didn't know that. Yeah, the day before.
The day
we were
before they
told
told you it was going to be on PC, not PS4?
Yep.
What?
It
Didn't
forced
you get
it,
the visions
What
of
if you
that?
didn't even have the game on PC?
people were forced to buy it.
They didn't
people
give
were
him
forced to
money?
buy-
Oh my god.
Yeah, so Chris was forced to buy it. I think Justin was forced to buy it.
Oh my
I don't know
god,
if Punk was,
dude.
but it forced people to buy the $60 version of the game. And obviously, if you don't have the DLC, now you gotta
Oh
buy
my
it for an extra
God.
$6, right? And
Fuck.
then right, the thing about the PC version is great, right? The PC version is great for trying to mitigate lag between PC and PS4. But the first thing is that, let's say you're somebody like Chris G who has been playing the game, right? Then you have to adapt to the switch in frame latency because there's an innate 4 frames in the game and there's lag from the PS4, an innate 2 frame.
Right.
So when you go on the PC, there's literally like no lag. So that actually changes your combos. As Matera, it's a tight timing for me to do like the JC loops, the 5U, JC loop 2C. But the JC has to be timed so like correctly. So if I go on the PC, it's much faster. Where if I go on to PS4, it's much slower.
Mhm.
That's a big difference.
And you only have one day to prepare, like warm up your hands to adjust to the lag
Yep,
difference.
Yep, that's the first problem, right? The second problem is that there are also optimization things, like in terms of like making the game run smooth, that are not in the game. Like there's not in the game listed for the optimization stuff. So like VSync is not in there as an option to turn on or off. You have to go to your graphics settings for that. Full screen optimization, I think there's some kind of bug or whatever where you have to go into the executables properties and turn off full screen optimization so that way you can fix stutter. There's a couple of things that are literally like things you have to do after you install the game to make sure that it runs with no stutter.
Yeah,
But
and
the
not only
problem
that,
is
you have to do it outside of the game too.
Exactly. You have to know about it basically. You have to know about it. It's not in the game. And so when you couple this, right? Because the thing is, let's say you did all that. The other person you're facing against may not have done all those optimization tweaks. And so what will happen is it'll cause stutter and lag because they're going to be running a little bit behind. So now you have this optimization issue, the fact that no one has played on PC for like, till the day they were told to do so. And it's like, well, what's the good experience with this? Like, no one's going to play at their optimal or at their best. So it's like, legitimately, it was just poorly executed, in my honest opinion. And it caused for a lot of setbacks. And for me, I had experience streaming the PC version too, because I was doing a grudge match after my tournament. And there's a legit problem, like, spectating the game, like spectating the actual matches, because the game for the players will run at a different speed than the game for the spectator, and so the spectator will usually preemptively end the match. So it made players look as though they were rage quitting when they weren't. If you were to go to the VOD that they uploaded to YouTube on it, there's like 5 or 6 people that are like, "Yo, frame 1 rage quit, frame 1 rage quit," and I'm like, "No, that's the spectator lagging on the side," and they were all blaming it on the PC, and I'm like, "No, that's the game." So the PC port, while it's good for playing people,
It's
right?
good for offline.
But exactly. But like online events and setting them up for that, like it's just not running like at an optimal pace. And there was that happening. The teams were not formed well. It was just a lot, right? Like it was a lot of hiccups within the 10v10 that I felt really did damage to the GBVS scene over here, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, no, the reputation was definitely hurt that day, because there was like 2,000 people watching it or something like that, and that's a lot of people for this game. And for that to be the first exposure to some of those people, it's not a good look. It's actually a really bad look, considering everything that went into the production for that. Like even the overlay itself, I wasn't a huge fan of it. Like the way that they would have the players on one side and the other 10 players on the other.
To explain that, they actually wanted to emulate how it was done in Japan, because Japan, when they do their crew battles, which is what they took inspiration from in the first place, when they do those crew battles, they have the lives there for the viewer to see. So it's a standard within that crew battle.
Oh yeah, that's
right?
also PG too. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you have to have it there. Like you have to have those 10 names like on each side with the live count, so that way people understand. Because if people just leave after one game, what the fuck? Is it not like a, excuse my language, it's not a best of 2, it's not a best of 3 or whatever. Like, what's going on here? So it's supposed to be there to help people like say, okay, these are the lives, right? So that's what they wanted to go for with that.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah, I mean, there's always ways to improve it though. You don't have to keep it the same format every single time, right?
No, you don't. There's ways to actually implement some improvement on it. Like, you could have the life display for the player, right? And then you could still, say, hey, like, this person left, he lost a life. Is he going to stay or not? Like, you could have the full screen overlaid there and then show the lives when the match is done. So like, there's way to mitigate that.
Right.
We talked about that in the Ronin Rumble chat too, like ways to implement it better. I understand like their goal to emulate the way Japan has it and has it formatted, just to like keep it like almost authentic and the same. But they definitely had a lot of technical issues they didn't consider, and a lot of hiccups in the back end that really shine a really dark light on Grand Blue here.
I think the one thing I didn't like too the most was the fact that there were some players that were actually nice on both teams. Like Zammu, for instance. Like Zammu, I understand my team, right? Like, some of them were saying he was lagging. And for me, it lagged a little bit, but it wasn't to the point where I couldn't play him. And the thing about it is, like, I don't know if those guys experience lag based on distance, because I think he was from Seattle.
He is.
Yeah, he was from Seattle. And so for me, it's like, he took out 5 of our members. And I'll tell you something, right? We were going to initially have Chris G go up to try and fight him. But Chris G didn't even have, like, the game. He didn't even, like, do the matches, the 5 CPU matches, so you could actually go to the lobby. So he had to. So he was playing through that while the team tournament was going on, and I'm like, man, we can't even put him first. So by the time he was able to play, 4 of our members were already eliminated. So it's like, some people just played and they just didn't give a rat's ass about it. And I'm like, like, you ruined the integrity of it. And the biggest part about it is the slap in the face that Panda Global made on that Twitter post, right? When they said, like, hey, like, nobody took this seriously. We were all just playing casually. Yeah, there was a tweet on their post. Yeah, it was a tweet. They was like, no one took this seriously. We were only just playing to have fun. We were just playing casually. And I'm like, that devalues all the people that were going in there to try.
Like, what's the point? Exactly.
What's the point of doing it if, like, what's the point of doing it if you then take back it? Like, if you take back the skill that everybody put in for it. So overall, I didn't like how it was done. I didn't like how it set the tone for the Grand Blue community overall, the way it was executed, the way they tried to sweep it under the rug. The best thing you could have done was just not say anything about it at all, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, I just hope that, Ronin Rumble, we're doing our 5v5, right? So that's going to give some good, like, execution and goodwill towards the game. And I know it will, because I know Jeff cares about the community, and I'm going to do my best within that 5v5 to, showcase good Grand Blue. So, that's what matters to me. I didn't like how they did the 10v10. It still irks me.
Yeah, make sure to check out the 5v5 as well. It's on Sunday.
Yeah, I hope PG takes a look at our 5v5 so they could see how Grand Blue lovers do this.
How a good production looks.
I hope if they approach the idea again, they do it properly.
Yeah, they are planning to. They are planning to do more crew battles.
PG, if you're watching, get carry for those overlays, because they're.
Nah, their graphic designers are good. They got it. I can give them direction, but yeah, the beautiful dude is one who chose their anime players, and it's clear that he chose talent.
Yes, he did.
Justin, on the other hand,
he chose his friends.
He chose clickbait names.
Like Marn.
Yeah, I didn't even know Marn was in the U.S.
I'm gonna keep it a buck, all right? I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a solid 100. Literally an hour before the match, or before the tournament was about to happen, or the exhibition rather, Marn was like, "Yo, let me play you." My man, he played Narmaya Soris, and I'm like, "Yo, he's just getting cooked. Like, why is he on our team? Like, he doesn't know how to play. Like." What is going on?
I was surprised he played Narmaya. Like, Marn's not the kind of player that would play a character like Narmaya, if you ask me. Like, I would say Grand.
He played Soris, which was the only other thing he could pick, and he had to be random. He had to do raw dashboard. And I'm like, yo, like, come on. Like, you're supposed to be on our team, and you're the first one to lose 2 lives. Like,
I've never seen Super Noon play this game at all.
Super Noon
Yeah,
hates
me
the game.
neither.
I don't think so.
Super
Yeah.
Noon hates
Man.
hates the game. He uninstalled it after it.
Speaking of which, that's also like a really bad look on the exhibition you hold when the players that you have selected for that exhibition go on Twitter and tweet, "Oh, Grand Blue sucks" or something, right?
Yo,
Like after
look,
the exhibition.
Yeah, Justin's tweets, man.
Oh man.
GBVS is a good offline game. I immediately retweeted it and said, GBVS is a good game. I had to correct them because I'm like, yo, the game is good. I'm sorry that the online isn't the best, but it's not like Dragon Ball Fighters, right? It's not like a game that literally has problems with its netcode. Like it's okay. Like it's not the best, but the game itself is good. And to just talk down on it, because of that one issue is like, yo, like, come on. Like it was badly executed. That's not the game's fault.
To give Justin some credit though, he was away for like 26 hours, 27, maybe 28, something like that.
It doesn't really give him the excuse to make it.
It doesn't
like
give him an excuse, but
it's
probably
not even
impaired his
that.
judgment.
Remember that Justin was the one that picked some of the players on the team already, so he knew this was going to happen from jump. So I understand what he did. Was for the BLM movement. So I'm not. He could do that. He put in the effort for that. I respect that. But like, it was literally the day before. Like you could have done it sooner. Like you could.
Yeah,
he
definitely could have changed the schedule.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like that's what I mean when I say like a lot of these players did not go in caring, and it really damaged the morale of the game and the morale of the tournament itself. Like I wanted to motivate these players, be like, "Yo, we still got this. We still got this." I'm like, I don't really care. I'm like.
Yeah.
Well,
and when you have teammates like that, like it sucks, man. Because then like it puts you down, and you're like, man, like none of my teammates care. Like this blows.
Sounds like those bad group projects.
Exactly.
Yep.
But another thing that I saw, this will probably be the last point that I make, but Punk was streaming the event, and he was also streaming the Discord chat as well. And a lot of people were watching Punk. There was like 700, 800 something, but like when every time he went on Discord though, it was just to complain, and everyone else was complaining, just talking trash about the game, and even like throwing shit at Zombie Moo.
So
I think that worked.
Punk was streaming the Discord chat between the players.
He
in the
was.
10v10?
Yeah, he was because he was directly showing his display.
I don't know why he was showing that to his viewers like that. That's really that's
really
unprofessional.
I don't think that's a good call in any sense.
Yeah,
I mean, in terms of trying to play in terms of the team based thing, like I don't want anybody to go on there and see what we're typing.
Exactly.
Like, that's one thing for me. Like I just saw again a lot of people were crapping on Zommu because of the connection. All I said is let's see because Chris G I think lives in Seattle too, right? So I'm like, let's see if this was based on the knowledge I knew at that time. So I was like, if he lives in Seattle and Chris G lives in Seattle, let's see how they both play against each other and see if there's any lag, right? That's what I was saying to resolve that, right? But aside from that, it was just complaints about him, and I'm like, the dude's good. He's got like over 1,000+ lobby matches. He plays. Like it's very clear he plays.
You can tell from his
Give him credit.
optimal routes too, his optimal confirms, like those 2L confirms. Like that's something you can just do for free. Like,
exactly.
He knows how to play the game, and I think the thing about this game is that I think a lot of like the proficient Capcom players went in thinking they can like get carried by fundamentals, but fundamentals like can only get you so far in this game. It's just like any other game. It's heavily knowledge.
You have to know the rules of the fighting game. It's as simple as that. You can have fun. Like there's always this talk about how your fundamentals carry over game versus games. But while that is true, at the same time for new players that are coming in, whether they be veteran players or new players, we all are subject to the rules of each fighting game we play. So it's not like we can just go in and be like, yo, I know how to play this game because I can play Catalina. I got footsies. Okay, that might help you, but do you not know how to spot dodge? Do you not know that this is particularly negative in this situation? It's like going into Sam's show, right? Like when you go into Sam's show, the main thing you have to know is your punishes, right? Like how negative is this thing? Everything in the game is negative, but like how negative is this specific thing? What is my punish here? Things like that. Like you have to have spent enough time with the game to know that. And so I felt like it was just a lot of people just bank again, as Tsuntenshi
They're
said,
not
just
knowledgeable about the game, and fundamentals
Yeah.
will only take you so far against players who know about the game in and out.
Exactly.
That's basically how it cuts down to it. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, it can't get you everywhere. Like fundamentals is strong, but they're not gonna win you games every single time.
Yep.
But yeah, I think we kind of crushed that a little bit. And let's move on to our next topic, which is going to be what we've been watching. Actually, like what everyone's been watching over the past time that has occurred over our last podcast, which was about a month or so
Roughly
ago.
a month. Roughly
So
a
about
month.
a month,
Around that
yeah.
much, yeah. But yeah, I guess we can take turns on this. I guess we can go with what Tsuntenshi's been watching, because he always watches everything.
I mainly been watching what's ongoing this season, but I did catch up on one show that was talked about last time, which was High Score Girl season 2.
Okay. What'd you think of season 2?
Wonderful, perfect, loved it.
Okay, cool.
It's like the perfect show for us, right?
It really is. Like you have to watch it.
Mhm.
Yep. If you're in the fighting game, you have to watch High Score Girl.
Oh,
It's
that's
on
a fact.
Netflix. It's super accessible, so just watch
It's
it.
a required watch. But aside from that, like my ongoing series that I'm watching right now, the first one's My Next Life as a Villainess. All routes lead to doom. Sing Yesterday for Me. Tower of God.
Tower
Love
of
is-
I still
God.
need to watch Tower of God, actually. Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, I'm actually gonna watch the latest episode today. Like,
I gotta
episode
watch
11.
that.
Love is War. Kaguya-sama season 2. Kakushigoto. And then the last two are kind of like I'm anime trash. I'm watching this. Princess Connect, Redive, and Tamayomi.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So you're still on the binge then? I see.
Yeah, they're ongoing series, so it's something I can like just watch when they air while I do other things. I did plan on watching some other stuff, but then Valorant came out, and
Ah.
and of course other graphic design projects that I get asked by Jeff. So
Can you speak Japanese, Tsuntenshi, or
no,
okay?
I wish.
Yeah, because like it makes it so much harder to keep up with some episodes for me because I have so much other stuff to do. I'd rather just like listen to it and be able to follow along, and I can't do that with like new anime because I can't speak Japanese because I'm not a good Japanese but yeah, it's something just for me though. But yeah, is that all you got for us or?
What I've been watching.
Okay.
Just the ongoing stuff.
Nice.
So is it basically like a regular day where everything gets released, or like do different shows get released on different days?
Yeah, there's basically a schedule for what comes on each day. For example, My Next Life as a Villainess, Sing Yesterday for Me, and Love is War Kaguya-sama season 2 all come out on like a Saturday.
Mhm.
Believe Tower of God comes out, and Tamayomi comes out Wednesdays.
Yeah.
I think Princess Connect comes out on Monday, and I think Kakushigoto comes out. I want to say today or tomorrow. I
Oh
forgot.
wow. So your schedule's like kind of all over the place then.
And that's one of the shows I watch like on and off. Like I'll just binge whatever I
Okay.
haven't caught up on.
Cool.
That does make it a lot easier to digest if like
Yeah,
you
'cause
don't
I'm not
have to watch 12 episodes at a time for like everything.
Yeah,
you know?
that's basically why I watch like a lot of ongoing series because I can just take one episode like a day or something. Like okay, well, let me watch this show.
I recently got a subscription to Crunchyroll, so I'm probably gonna start doing that a lot too.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
good stuff
there's
on
always, like,
Crunchyroll.
There's always like a schedule up like on various websites, and like even on Crunchyroll's website, they'll always show like what is getting updated that day, like on their like.
I'm new
right-hand
to
side
Crunchyroll,
navigation.
so like I still have to like figure out all the ins and outs of scheduling and stuff.
You'll figure
you
it
don't have to
out.
worry
It
about
just you just have to take a quick glance at it. It's pretty
Okay.
good. They format
It's
it really
pretty
well.
easily digestible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Cool.
remember when Crunchyroll was like in 2010 or even 9. It was super primitive back then. First of its kind. But
And I remember before Crunchyroll, you'd have to like look at forums, and then they would like post like what's out this season, and then like what days, and like you'd have to like save the image and then like go back to it. Like I still have a folder in my computer like just of
Oh,
like
no.
images of like every season of like when stuff is getting released.
But yeah, that's what Tsuntenshi's been up to. Sonic, what have you been watching?
Well, I started to watch Violet Evergarden. I actually finished it in one sitting.
Wow.
Me too, my man. Me
Nice.
too.
Very happy about
Yeah.
that.
I actually finished it in one sitting. I think
Everyone's seen it though, right?
Yeah.
Qiom, you've seen it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, like, I was rendering videos at the time because I'm trying to render all the top 8s for my tournament, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to wait all this time, so let me just watch the entire series while I have the time. And I'm like, yo, I started after episode 2 because that's where I finished, and I'm like, this entire series gives me like Rose of Versailles vibe, right? Like, because you later find out that Violet is a child soldier, right? So she's been in the military and everything, and you know, she's essentially been like this pet for who was given to Gilbert, and Gilbert ended up like, you know, essentially being like, yo, she's a human. Like, let's treat her as a human. What's going on? Why is she a tool? Like she's not a tool. And it's just breaking that programming in her brain to just be like militaristic. And you see all of the at first it was a little slow because it was doing that little like, you know, story of the week type thing where you ended up meeting like different people, like the princess. The father one, the one with the father actually got to me. Like that one actually made me cry. Like
Where she got her parasol?
yeah, like
Yeah.
that made me
yeah.
cry because he lost everything, and I'm just like, oh, like that hit me hard because I'm like, yo, that happens, you know, that happened to me back in like, you know, high school and whatnot. Not with the same like thing, but like just losing a lot of like connections with people. And, you know, I felt that on an empathetic level. And I'm like, oh man, like, and then there was also, oh god,
episode 10.
Episode 9.
that was
Every
9.
episode.
I mean, there was the other episode with the mom that was dying.
10.
Yeah, and the
Oh,
letters.
that was
Yeah,
10? Okay.
episode 10. That one, I'm like, this is after episode 9 when everything hits the fan and you're like learning about her past, and I'm like, yo, the series should end here. Like, what's going on? Like, it should have ended right there. Like, what happened? And then it's like, there's a whole new story for episode 10, and I'm like, yo, at the end of the episode, it's all the letters that the mom wanted to send to her daughter, just saying like, yo, we got one, we have letters for the next 50 years for you. So I'm just like, yo, she really prepared for her death like that, and her daughter the entire time was like, yo, you won't spend time with me. What's going on? I'm just like, oh my god, the sacrifices you have to make. And so,
You know, that was that was a bit cliched because like literally from the beginning when I started seeing like those like stacks of letters rising up, I was like, they're for her. But
Yeah.
like just like, you know, the music, like the exposition, like how everything was being like shown through the lens of the daughter, like I'm like, dude, you could have a cliche story, but if you sell it, it sells so good, man.
oh yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Execution was
that was a super
superb.
emotional episode for probably all of us.
Yeah.
It was. I cried like a bitch.
Yeah.
Dude, I cried in like half of the episodes. I was like, oh god, I don't think I'm supposed to cry this much during this.
I
When
cried a lot.
I messaged Higashi because you know how like they have like a movie and a special on
Yeah.
on Netflix. Like I like my eyes were still like a little swollen up, and I just messaged Higashi at like midnight. Hey, what am I supposed to watch after Violet Evergarden? Is it the special or the movie? And like I'm just like sitting there. I'm just sitting there waiting for his reply, going like, I just want to keep watching this. Hurry up.
I feel you on that, man. Like I was wondering if there was anything after, if they were gonna plan anything after, but it, like the way they ended it, it was just, you know, she's just walking to the next house, she's just doing her job, and I'm like, you know, just to see the change in the character from how she was, you know, very militaristic to, you know, starting to get emotions and everything. It hit me, and the reason why I mentioned everything with the military and whatnot is because it was the same thing with Rose of Versailles, but it covered the French Revolution, and you know, basically her coming into womanhood and being like proud that she was a woman, Oscar. So she ended up becoming like, you know, she ended up falling in love with basically someone she was really close to, and you know, it was a lot like to revisit similar emotions like that. So
Yeah, it is based on a light novel. So if you want to like see it in the light novel version, that's available, I think, out there somewhere. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
I'll
translated,
too.
but it's definitely out there.
I'll definitely check it because there's got to be stuff that wasn't like put in the original like.
Yeah, there's
or in
another
the
movie coming out as well. So
nice.
I'm looking forward to that.
That's still
I'm
coming
really
out though,
looking
right? Or
yeah,
It got
Okay.
yeah.
still save
got
like
delayed.
theaters in Japan, I think.
okay.
And the thing about it too, I didn't see any like real animation errors. Like I didn't see anything like that. It felt like
It's
every episode was like a movie, more or less. Like
They
it
put a
was-
lot
Kyoto
of
animation
effort
at its
into it.
finest.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah, Kyoto.
Right.
They do it. It's amazing what they've done. It's
They
amazing.
absolutely went all in on Violet Evergarden. Like I've seen a lot of Kyoto animation. They usually they keep it like nice and like cute enough to where they can kind of like hide all that stuff. But with Violet Evergarden, they went all out.
I didn't notice any errors, man. That damn man. What a way to come back into anime, huh?
Yep.
Like I
Dude,
feel like
you know,
if you watch shows like Violet Evergarden or like Fate Zero or anything by Ufotable, and then you go down to like any
Ufotable?
other, then you go down to like any other anime, you're just like it's a complete shift in what you just watched because you got spoiled by
Yeah.
like movie quality anime series.
Yeah.
I will also say I dusted off the old keyboard and I'm trying to learn the fucking ending theme on the keyboard now.
Mhm.
Literally that one song, like when it hit in episode 10 and you hear the full song, like as the daughter's getting all the letters, I was like,
Yeah.
I gotta
Perfect
get-
Yeah.
execution of insert ending songs.
Mhm.
Nice. Yeah. But Violet Evergarden though, dude, that was definitely one of my anime of the year when it came out. I think it was in
Oh,
2000. Was it 2016 or
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, it was something around that time. But yeah,
I'm still sad they don't have
definitely.
like a US Blu-ray release yet.
Oh, they don't.
Yeah.
No, because it was also because like normally like the company would like like I guess Funimation usually like releases theirs. Sendai Filmworks usually releases some, but
That's
this one
on
was like a part.
Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. So I'm not sure where that's going right now.
Netflix original.
Netflix, man.
They paid a good money to do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm always curious on the contracts that Netflix does for like other animes because like at the beginning they weren't really picking up, but like now it's huge. It's one of the major platforms for anime now.
Yeah, right?
Speaking of Netflix though, for stuff that I've been watching, it's been have you guys heard of Scissor 7 on Netflix?
Haven't.
No.
Scissor 7, it's a Chinese anime, but they have it dubbed and the dub is amazing. It's hilarious. I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's so good. Scissor 7. It's super short too. It's like 15 minutes per episode and there's like I think 10, 11 episodes something like that, maybe less. But it's hilarious though. I highly recommend it. But besides that though, I've been watching Outlaw Star as well.
Oh man, a classic.
Yeah.
First time
Yep.
or revisiting it?
This is actually my first time watching it. So I obviously saw like Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, all those other Western type animes, but this one I guess got swept under the rug, and
Hmm.
I haven't seen it until this year, and it was a lot of things like Super Eye Patch Wolf, and a couple other guys on YouTube who were promoting it and like talking about how great it is, and yeah, it's amazing. it's a lot of fun to watch.
I just added Scissor 7 to my watch list.
Okay.
The animation looks interesting from the
It's funny, dude. It's really funny, and the dub for it is actually really good. I recommend the dub over the sub because the sub
okay.
it's a Chinese,
Mhm.
so it's a little jarring if you're used to Japanese subtitle Japanese dub with English subs.
Mhm.
But
One
But
of my
yeah.
favorite anime is a Chinese dub.
which one is that?
I watched it. I think I talked about it the last time we were on here. The one, damn it, I forget what it's called because I couldn't see
Was it
the
esports
English name of it. The what?
Is it the esports one?
Yeah, the esports one.
Oh, okay.
King's Avatar?
The what?
King's
King's
Avatar.
Avatar?
Yes, King's
Yeah, I
Avatar.
remember we talked about that last time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one was really good.
Nice.
But also speaking of Netflix originals, have any of you guys been watching Doro Hedoro? No,
I
I
have
actually
not.
never heard of it.
Dodo.
Okay, so Doro Hedoro. It's about a guy who has a lizard head, and he's trying to figure out who did that to him, so he could kill the sorcerer that did that, so he could get his
Oh, I think I
human
heard
head
about
back.
that.
So
About
here's
that.
here's the thing about that I found really interesting. So when I was in like middle school, I picked up two mangas. Well, one manga and one manhwa. One of them was Doro, which apparently came out in like 1999, but I found out about it like in like 2009 or 2010, and Tower of God. And I really enjoyed both of them, but they kept having like hiatuses, so I dropped both of them, and then I picked them up like last year or the year before that, and like I just finished all of Doro. I saw that Tower of God was still ongoing, so I never picked it back up. And then both of them ended up having an anime like around the same time. Like I was like, yo, like, and Doro is so clean. Like it's one of those like it's kind of like High School Girl where it's like 3D animation, but it's so true to the manga. Like it has almost every beat except for like the bonus end chapters at the end of volumes and stuff. But like that's understandable. Apparently they're gonna make like an OVA that has like all the bonus chapters, so that's cool
Okay.
too. But the fact that like they are almost almost scene for scene like direct from the manga, I thought that was pretty damn
Yeah,
awesome.
you rarely see that in most anime anyway, because they have to cut so many things due to time constraints or just to make the story feel a little more like flexible. But that's good that it actually stays accurate.
Like so far from watching all of season one, the only difference was like they excluded like one minor character and that only had like a couple of like pages of interaction. So it's like it's not it's still really good for an anime adaptation. But
Nice.
I highly recommend it. It's really silly. It has like like some gory violence, but it's not like the main appeal of it. And I think the world building is really really good because it's like two worlds, like the human world and the sorcerer world, and like they go through like all their stuff, and like everybody's a great character. Like nobody's like a good guy or nobody's a bad guy, and it's like it's just a funny likable cast.
Got you. I was pulling it up. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, I remember people were talking about it, and I put it on my radar.
Mhm.
I'll probably try to check it out soon, though.
Like the reason I picked up the manga was because like the art was so like grungy, like it felt like dirty almost, where like it was like really like it looked like a bunch of like sketches, and like it was like the lines were really heavy, and like the gore was like really vivid. Like you'd see like eyeballs flying out with like the little veins still attached to him, like people breaking fingers left and right,
Okay.
and
Yo.
like
Nice.
it was
Also
pretty.
speaking of
Pretty
manga,
gory,
I actually
huh?
caught up on all of Haikyuu during the break too.
Oh, how was that?
I don't regret it one bit.
Haikyuu's
Nice.
great, dude. Haikyuu's great.
Because
I
when I
think I'm
heard,
a couple episodes behind, but
because when like COVID started happening and a lot of anime started getting delayed, I had a feeling part two of its newest season would get delayed as
mm.
well, and sure enough, it did. So I just powered right through all of the manga and
Oh
didn't
Nice.
regret it
wow.
one bit.
Nice. So
Yeah, I gotta start reading
besides
IQ actually.
Doro Hedoro, Qiom,
Mhm.
you were watching something else as well that you want to talk about?
Oh yes, I have a bone to pick with Tsuntenshi that I've already told him about, but I'm still gonna fucking rail him for it right here.
I ended it.
After the hell that I went through in middle school, where literally half of the mangas that I would pick up would all just get canceled in the middle of something important. How dare you make me pick up Baby Steps that I fucking fell in love with? I watched 2 seasons of it. I preached about it to the world, and then I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna pick up the manga." And then they were like, "Oh hey, the manga got canceled in the middle of a fucking match."
I hate that. I hate
How,
when that happens.
dude? I like all that pent up frustration from middle school that happened to me so much. I felt it all come back. I was like, "This is why I stopped reading manga, man." Like my heart was
I told you
torn.
to watch the anime. I didn't say anything about the manga.
My
Be
heart
fair.
was torn.
The catharsis never realized. Oh man.
Also, both seasons are on YouTube. So if you guys haven't seen it, or if anybody listening wants to watch it, look that shit up, baby. Baby Steps season 1, episode 1. There's a playlist on YouTube. 50 episodes, season
I
one
said
and
that last
two.
episode too. That is on YouTube, just all organized right there.
Yeah, yeah. But if anybody didn't read like hear that before, but also, so I tweeted this out. But after watching High Score Girl and then immediately after that watching Baby Steps, I feel like Baby Steps encapsulates the FGC mentality way better than High School Girl, in the sense that High School Girl really captures what it was like to be an FGC head in the 90s during the
Yes.
arcade era, all that stuff. But what Baby Steps does is it it encapsulates the feeling of being a competitor. Like he goes in there, he says, "Why am I nervous? Like, how do I regain my composure? Maybe if I try this, maybe if I try that. What is my opponent thinking? How do I try to get in his head? Like, like maybe I have to try something different. Maybe I have to take risks because I'm playing it safe and like it's not working." Like he hits everything that you think about like as a competitor, and it was just wild to me. I was like, holy shit,
Yeah,
like
it's a
they never
mentality
they never
thing.
go yeah, they never go that in depth, like in high school role. Like it's just kind of like, I'm losing. Why do I feel like this? Is because
Well,
I keep thinking about this girl, but like
yeah, there was a whole extra like plot line to it that they were trying to explain while also being historic to most of the not just FGC but most of the games that came out there in the 90s. So that's why it was a lot of lore that they would have to pick up. So it was hard to get into that mentality per se. They could only really talk about things like, oh, he's turtling, or oh, he's cheating with throw, like, or
yeah.
oh my god, he did the screwdriver, the 360 motion,
Or
and,
Brown Ryu.
or Brownie, yeah.
I
So they
feel
only,
like
It's all the
I feel
nostalgia
like High
back
School
then.
Girl is like, I almost feel like it's a show that helps remind you like why you fell in love with fighting games in a way.
Exactly.
Mm.
Whereas Baby Steps kind of dives deeper into becoming a competitor and just anything.
Mhm.
and
Because like I
I got
said,
I really have to check that out.
I'm a sucker for tennis anime, but that like it speaks on such a wider level because like I said, you can apply that to anything that you're competitive in. Like
Mhm.
it just hits all the right notes, man. Like I went on a huge tirade on Twitter. I was like telling all my FGC friends, guys, watch Baby Steps. I was like, bro, I watch Baby Steps and I'm so much better at Tekken now, bro. You gotta watch Baby Steps. Like, man, like I highly recommend that to anybody who's a competitor.
I say that like literally all the time too. Like if
Which
you're a
is exactly
competitor,
what you told me. It's
if you're a
exactly what
competitor
you.
in like literally anything, you should watch Baby Steps.
Yeah, I gotta watch Baby Steps. I have to, man.
YouTube. You know what? Watch it right now. You know what? Let's just make the next hour just the first 3 episodes of Baby.
uh, I know you were reading the manga. I was actually, since you mentioned manga, the last one that I actually read that I just wanted to just mention. I read it some time ago. It was recommended to me by a friend. It's called Kokugi. Deno Kokugi. Mephisto Waltz. That's what it's called. And
Huh.
it's basically about like this guy he's basically a professional like piano player, right? Like he had the song that he was going to perform, but his hands ended up being damaged. So he was unfortunately not able to do the piece, and he unfortunately like he can't use his hands at all anymore. But what he does is he's like, I don't want to give up on life, so he actually starts playing fighting games. He actually starts,
Oh.
not like not the fighting games that we know like Street Fighter and whatnot. It's like the in-universe fighting.
Right.
And
Hmm.
I think if I remember correctly, like there's arcades for it still, but like there's also like a virtual side of it as well that he could use. And everyone has this like persona, so they have their persona that they use or an avatar in the game, and he ends up finding out later on within the story, because it's still ongoing, but he ends up later finding out that, oh, the girl next door to me playing these games as well, and she's like actually the top rank like person playing the game, and he's going to the arcades, and the person who's learning from is trying to fight this rival that he knows about, that he just learned about. Yeah. So it's like it's essentially like the story of him trying to like make something of himself despite him losing this ability to be able to play the piano and whatnot, and essentially build himself up from that. So I never read past like maybe like the first couple of chapters because I was just so busy with time. But that was the last thing that I read since we were talking about manga, and it's actually not bad. Like
What's it
the
called
first
again? I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah. What was the name?
I put it in
me-
chat too.
Yeah, let me type it in chat.
Yeah, actually.
He said the name, and I was like, I don't know. I'm not gonna try and attempt to spell that.
Yeah.
Well, it's Mephisto Waltz. I just remember like that Mephisto
Waltz.
Waltz.
Okay.
But it's Deno Kokugi. Deno Kokugi. So
Okay.
yeah.
Nice. Check this out as well. That sounds really interesting. Cause like there's a lot of people. Well, not a lot, but there's like quite a few people in the fighting game community that have disabilities, and they still play as if they don't have one.
Yeah,
Like it's kind of crazy. Like if you love something enough, you'll find a way to do it.
of course.
Yep.
Shouts to
Check it
Broly
out.
Legs.
Wheels as well.
Yeah, Wheels is another one.
Mhm.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely try to check this out actually. Nice. But yeah. So that's what everyone has been watching then. Got Baby Steps, Outlaw Star, got Violet Evergarden, and then the multitude of various shows that Tsuntenshi watches.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I think it's a good time to talk about Anime Evo. So Anime Evo announced a couple days ago that they were gonna do the online version of Anime Evo, just like how Evo's doing as well. They didn't. I'm not sure how in depth they went into it, but from what I hear, it's gonna be 22 games. All of them are gonna be online. All of them are gonna be anime. They're all gonna be run on separate streams as well from the community, which I think is really interesting because it's a community-based event, as opposed to Evo being kind of a little bit more corporate-ish, if you wanted to call it that. But esports. But yeah, Anime Evo is having like the community basically just distribute it, which is really amazing if you ask me.
That's kind of like how Anime Evo was kind of done already offline, where like the community will step up to run the side tournament. Anime Evo kind of advertises it, I think. Anime Evo, like saying foot down with X amount of titles that's solidified that's run by them, and then community members come in like, oh, I want to run my game in Anime Evo as well. And that's usually how like titles get added in.
So like I'm not super familiar with how they do it offline. I've only seen it at Evo. So how many streams do they usually have for Anime Evo?
I haven't been to Evo, but
Ah,
I'm watching it. I believe it's usually like there's like one main stream. There might be like an additional
Yeah.
stream.
okay.
And sometimes they'll get helps from like Access Games, for example, to run some streams.
Okay, that makes sense.
I know that they get like some people from Access Games. I know Anime Illuminati, the Brett,
Yeah.
Majin Obama. A few of those guys will help to stream some of the events, some of the side events, and they usually do multiple games. So
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, Anime Evo, it's I think it's pretty important in terms of like keeping those games alive. Maybe not
Yep.
alive, but at least somewhat relevant to
Yeah,
people
showing
who
that
and
there's a
expose it to
competitive
people. Because some of those games are great. Some of those games are really good. But yeah. So Suntenchi, you said that you were thinking about doing either commentary or helping out with Dengeki, the game that you won CEO Otaku in.
Yeah, I'll probably do commentary because I don't really like online that much. I'll play for fun if anything if I do enter, but um, I'm definitely not the best player in North America. I know people who would enter and school me, but I also just don't like online, so I probably just would like to commentate.
For
I like
sure.
watching.
Any
like
way to help
watching.
out the community, basically.
Yeah.
what does bother me though about some of the online tournaments that they're doing, I'm glad that they're doing it, but I'm worried about how they're gonna properly organize it. That's the only thing. Like the online events, especially with regular Evo, I'm wondering how they're gonna go about organizing such large amounts of people coming in.
Yeah, it's gonna be thousands of people on that Discord all at once.
Yeah. So that's the only thing I'm worried about.
I mean, they'd have to do something like how at Ronin Rumble, how we separated the pools, but they'd have to be way more strict. Like, hey, if you don't communicate in your pool channel, it's not gonna fucking count because that's the only way they can mitigate it. Like,
there is a tweet where they said like they're still working out on the schedule, but it's gonna be spread out between multiple days, weeks.
Oh, that's good.
Makes sense.
It's not gonna happen like all in one day or something.
Yeah,
but
that'd be crazy.
They said as soon as Evo wraps up, like the first weekend of August is when they're gonna start doing like all the Anime Evo events.
Oh, okay.
So it's not gonna be like something where like, oh, I'm gonna play the Fighting Herds pool, but I also have my side tournament pool here. I think they're gonna wait like until all the official stuff's over and then start spraying out Anime Evo events.
I mean, that makes sense since they don't have to worry about like a physical venue's time
Yeah, they don't have
constraint.
to worry about like, oh, like we gotta do it in like 2 days.
And the best part of all is it's their own thing, right? Like it's not obviously they're part of Evo, but like they're part of like the whole branding with Evo because they have like the hearts of Evo stuff. But the point is that they're actually doing it on their own time schedule and everything. It gives more people a chance to see what they're doing. Whereas a lot of the main people are just probably interested in the regular Evo too. Not everybody's watching it Evo for anime Evo. Some people are, some people aren't. But with this, everyone's gonna get their attention on anime Evo. So
I think the burning question is still how are they gonna work out the pricing? Because it's gonna be a really hard sell to try and charge somebody for an experience that the organizers cannot control.
I don't think it'll probably be free. I mean,
Yeah, I imagine it'll be
Evo's
like a
already
free-
free, so
I imagine like a free fun for fun thing.
yeah.
If I had to guess.
Oh, did they already say that it was free?
They
I
said
don't.
Evo is gonna be free. You can
Yeah,
make a donation
Oh.
as well if you want if you want to get like a badge.
Oh, I must have missed that. Like that could have. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Shit, I'll sign up right now.
I already did. Them's fine,
Sign up
herds,
for them
dude.
fighting herds. I'm gonna sign up for Skullgirls.
Oh
If I
yeah.
get a little better at them fighting herds, I'll sign up for that too.
But yeah. Hopefully they're able to do like other games though, especially like a game like Gundam that was pretty big for Anime
oh
Evo.
man,
Yeah.
Like I love watching Gundam. I don't know why, but I just do, and it's so
If
much
I had
fun
to
to
guess-
watch.
Similar to like what I said about the offline events, I think so long as someone steps up and wants to run it, like maybe it can be added because that's how other games got added before. Like
Mm.
previous years, like Dengeki wasn't like on the main lineup, but then one the TO of like the main like US Dengeki tournaments now is like, hey, I want to run Dengeki, and then it just gets added.
Oh,
And I think
nice.
like
Mhm.
Persona wasn't on like Persona 4 Arena Ultimax wasn't on there before like a previous anime Evo like last year, and someone came up was like I want to TO it. So I imagine
Nice.
the similar case with this where like someone has to step up for it.
Mm.
I'll back you up, Higashi, if you're the TO for Gundam.
Oh God. Think I'm good, dude. I'll leave that to the professionals, such as Brett. I know Brett's really into it.
Ronin Gundam.
Ronin Gundam.
Ronin Gundam.
Gundam
Yo, that
Rumble.
rolls.
Gundam Rumble.
Gundam
Hell yeah.
Yo, Gundam R. Oh, man.
Carrie, make the graphic right now.
Oh, that'd be a sick graphic, actually. Oh man. But yeah, Evo anime or anime Evo, online. It'd be fun. Sign up if you want to join any of those. I'm not sure what the logistics are gonna be for it, but
I will say, I don't know what the case for is for all the tournaments, but I remember seeing a post like, it depending on like who's running it, they have like their own rules set for it. I think Multiple is like West Coast only.
Oh. So
okay.
make sure you look at that before you sign up.
Yeah, I'm not sure what obviously the rules are gonna be different depending on who's TOing it, but that's something to look into as well. Like, are there any like region restrictions?
Yeah, region lock.
I don't think DFC is gonna be like region locked. It's gonna be like if you live in the US, you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. We're not gonna get to see any of the Japanese gods in it then. In their
Now's
own
the
region, that'd be
Americans'
cool.
time.
But
Now's
probably
the
not gonna
Americans'
happen.
time to shine.
Well,
We'd like
it'll
to
be
see
fun either
Goichi-
way.
We'd like to
Yep.
see Goichi play DFC again.
I love to see Goichi just play anything. I love watching him play. He plays so clean.
The wall.
Yeah,
It's the
he was
defense.
poverty god before it became esports.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man. But yeah. Speaking of like Gundam though, I want to talk about something else. In terms of like, we were talking about waifus last week, and I kind of wanted to pivot towards another topic, which I kind of made with first anime crush, because I think we all have that. We've all had an anime character that we were just like, oh, I'm maturing. Nice.
Yo, both up.
I remember you said Botan for your waifu, so that makes sense. For myself, I was talking about Gundam, so it's Kigali from Gundam Seed.
Mm.
But yeah, you guys got some other interesting ones though. Tsuntenshi,
Honestly, mine is probably a Dark Magician girl.
Dark Magician.
Oh. funny enough, mine was Taya.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Dude, hell yeah, Taya
Yu-Gi-Oh.
from Yu-Gi-Oh. Mm-hmm.
You got
I need that young Mai Kujaku. I'm sorry, man. The My Valentine. Like, I need that.
Yeah, it's like those were like Tsuntenshi was mentioning how anime was like one of the first quote unquote cartoons that would kind of look like humans. Like they would
Yeah,
they
forms of
wouldn't
media that wasn't like Rugrats with oversized heads and
Yeah.
or animals talking like in shirts and stuff in their own town.
or like monsters.
Yeah. Rocco's Modern Life.
Oh yeah.
Cow and chicken, cat dog.
Yeah, it's like Sailor Moon and like anime was like the first time it was like something a bit more like, oh, these look like people to me.
And yeah, that's how it's kind of like how Gundam became kind of a mainstream as well, because it was just so different, and the characters look really good, and there was a lot of effort put into the animation and whatnot. So
I
a
think
lot
the
of
first, like,
love.
first mainstream one I think was like Gundam Wing.
Yeah, I
Like,
think
really
so.
blew up.
Like
Yeah.
that.
I think I noticed like other shows like Robotech and Macross that were out beforehand, but like the big one like on
was definitely Gundam
Toonami
Wing.
for everyone to watch was Gundam Wing.
It was It was. I know it was Gundam Wing and G Gundam.
Yeah,
Those
those
were
were
the
the
two
top
I-
two.
G Gundam, being a kid, watching those chicks go through the rubber things, going like, I think I'm into this.
Everyone's seen One Piece in some way or form, right?
Gotta go.
I seen the opening.
You seen the opening? Oh no.
Don't
Hi,
give
poor
it up,
kids.
Luffy.
Oh no. But so yeah, I mean One Piece is pretty well known to be one of the longest animes out there, right next to the Professor.
Hashime no Ippo.
Conan.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, the detective one, yeah. What's it called again?
Detective Conan.
Conan, yeah, exactly.
He's close.
But so I
Isn't
was
Gintama
wondering
still ongoing too?
which one?
Gintama?
Gintama?
Gintama
so.
I think Gintama is still going as well, actually as well. But
That
yeah,
one, and then there's also Hajime no Ippo as
Yeah.
well.
oh the anime is still going for that?
No, well the anime, like, we're still waiting on another.
Oh, we're still
season,
waiting
but
for it, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but the manga, like, that's still
Oh, it's
going.
crazy long, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to talk about long-term anime versus the short-term anime, such as like the 100+ episodes versus the 24 12 episode animes. Cuz it's kind of hard to pitch, for example, One Piece to someone who is trying to get into anime and it's almost 1,000 episodes. So it's really hard to get someone to actually watch that and put that time in. It helps with the movies. The movies help a lot, but like, I'm just curious, like, what your guys' opinion are in terms of like the short term versus the long term. Like, which one do you guys prefer?
Well, I mean, for me personally, the first two long-term ones that like I really dedicated myself were Naruto and Bleach. Like, I mean, I would watch One Piece too, but then like I dropped One Piece after a while. But like, how after seeing how like Naruto and Bleach ended, I kind of swore off of long-term anime.
Ah,
I
okay.
was like, man, like when you dedicate your like a fucking decade of your life to something and like it just either just gets cut short or like it ends shitty, you're like, I don't know if I want to do that again.
Dude,
I
Naruto
am.
ended on a filler, and then it went to
Yep.
Naruto Shippuden.
No, like and like even after that, like Shippuden, like the ending,
lot of
it
filler.
was just a clusterfuck. It was like, man, I did not like it. But like, I will say though, I am expecting Tower of God to be super long because I mean the man was still ongoing.
Yeah, like
So
I'm pretty sure the season that we have right now with Tower of God, from what I heard, is like basically like the prequel to what's gonna happen
Oh wow.
to like the main events of Tower of God.
yeah, because I mean, like it does like this is basically like the first. I don't need like it's been such a long time since I've read it, but like it's basically I would say like the first, not even like 50 chapters is gonna be the first season because like within the first 50 chapters like so much happens that I'm like it's gonna take like 2 seasons just to cover that.
Mhm.
I don't even know what chapter it's on right now. Like when I dropped it, it was on like chapter like 200 something.
Damn.
But yeah.
But yeah. That's my opinion on long-term anime. I'm a grumpy old man when it comes to those.
Well, when it comes to like filler though, it just sucks. Like the Bleach filler was really bad at times.
Okay, I will say this. I actually really enjoyed the Bleach fillers.
Really? Even the bounce?
Yeah,
The
I
vampire one?
actually did.
Oh, really?
So
Wow. You're
wait, man, I can't remember if I talked about this during the last stream, but I think I said it, but when it came to Bleach, I remember as a kid watching Bleach, and whenever there would be filler arcs, like you know how it would get like all silly and stuff, I was like, man, these guys suffered so much, they deserve to like have a little break like this, and like then they would have like their fun, or like they'd come across some like minor villain, and then they'd get back to like suffering and like going through all this shit,
That
and then
reminds,
they'd have like another little filler, and I'm like, okay, that's nice.
that reminds me of a Bleach filler where it was like in the middle of like saving Orihime, and like she was captured and everything, and then they had a filler immediately with Orihime there, like them in like the normal world, and then they go back to the main plot where she's captured again. And I'm like,
It's a nice little mental break, you know.
this is bad.
Timelines.
Like some fillers, they just like they make it in between, like they fit it in there, like oh, all this actually
Well,
happened.
that's
for
the
this time
issues.
frame.
That's the issues that you come across when you make an anime and like the manga's not too far ahead, and then like you're just catching up so fast. You're like, wait, we have to stop right here because there's no source material.
Yeah, it's also a big issue of
Yeah.
like shonen anime mostly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
'Cause,
that's
like other anime, they usually just end.
yeah,
I
I mean,
wonder if,
that's why I like
My
My
Hero
Hero
Academia-
Academia right now though, because they take breaks, and
That's always good. Also because a lot of shonen animes, they never take breaks.
Yeah,
Like they never
They
take
keep
week
that
like
money.
season breaks or anything. Like they just keep
they
going.
just keep
and, like,
going and going and
yeah.
going.
I think
like,
the
you know-
industry has probably learned from their past mistakes, though, because
Yeah,
like
like My
everybody
Hero,
hated
Demon
that.
Slayer, they took breaks because they
Mhm.
needed it to
Mhm.
create a more
Joe-
polished like follow up season.
I know JoJo's. I mean that already came out. Like most of the series that they're doing are already finished. But even that anime, like they decided to take breaks. Like they would do like recap episodes, things like that, just to kind of fill in, so they would have extra time. So there's different ways to like mitigate. Like okay, we need a little bit more time to catch up with the story, or we just need to give a little more time to the animators themselves. So there's always like ways to like mitigate that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, like, talking about fillers again, I remember the Dragon Ball Z filler where Goku and Piccolo learned how to drive a car,
Yeah.
which just
Oh,
sounds
man,
so
That's like the most
silly.
iconic filler
Yeah.
episode ever.
It just sounds so silly because they can fly, and it's like, oh,
Yeah,
let's learn
right.
how to drive cars. That sounds fun.
That was great, though. I love that. I like I
Yeah.
said, I like silly fillers.
that-
Man.
Mhm.
The problem with fillers is when they take up like an entire season. I
Yeah,
think.
Yeah,
Like, and
it takes up
like,
too
if
much time.
you sprinkle in like 3 episodes of filler just so you have a little more time to like
Yeah, that's what I like
plan
about
out.
One Piece, especially because their fillers are like maybe 3 episodes long at most, usually. Because so it's kind of like just in between arcs and whatnot, and they
Yeah,
they're able to spread the arcs so far, like so stretched out that it just works. Because the
Was that
opening
a
is like
Luffy-
5 minutes.
was that a Luffy joke?
Yeah. Take it as you will, dude.
my only experience with filler and like shonen anime that use filler was like Naruto and Bleach. So I only had like the full seasons of filler. Like, oh
Yeah.
damn, I'm not gonna see anything about the main plot line
See,
for
the thing
another
though,
couple
like
months.
with Bleach, I did really enjoy that filler season where their Zanpakutos like betrayed them, and like they all like showed off their personalities and stuff. I thought that was pretty badass.
But yeah, there's I don't know. Whenever I saw like Naruto though, it was I just remember them ending the original Naruto season or the series, I guess, with a filler arc.
Mhm.
And
So
is there a story behind that? Do you know about that?
I don't know anything about the story because by that time I didn't even know anything about fillers when I was watching anime at this point. I remember that like after the fight with Naruto and Sasuke, and Naruto's in the hospital. At that point in time, he's supposed to go with Jiraiya, and that's supposed to initiate Shippuden. But they had
Yes.
like 6 seasons of filler, maybe more, before
Yeah, it
was-
the
it was
anime went into
insane.
Shippuden.
Mhm.
There's like one filler where they're like hanging out with Jiraiya, and it's basically just like, how do we practice doing the sexy jutsu? And I'm like, I don't want to. This whole episode is mad cringe. Like, I don't even
That's
want to like. It's just
You know
all
what's
these
smart?
random filler.
that's where I
What's more is
dropped.
that-
That's where I dropped watching it, and I just picked up reading it because I was like, I don't want to go through all these fillers, and I just started reading it, and I
Yeah.
never turned back.
Like when Naruto was going through all those fillers, I started just reading the manga because I just didn't want to wait. But like
Mhm.
I liked seeing things animated. So like when I heard Shippuden got an anime, I was like, oh yeah, I'll definitely check it out on the side
word.
too. But after like some abnormal amount of like seasons of filler, after one season of Shippuden, they went back to filler again.
Yeah.
I was so mad. I was
Yeah,
like,
they-
never again. I'm done. I will YouTube all the cool looking fights.
Yep.
No, I'm not watching. This.
all I know about Naruto are all the fights. That's it at this point. Like, that's all that I know.
I mean, the fights in Naruto are really good though. Like some of
Yeah,
them
they
were crazy good, especially during the Ninja War arc. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, definitely. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I will say that the one thing about Naruto and the anime is like their fights are very very good.
Yo, 10 for 10. They're all choreographed. Like,
Yeah, they are really good. Everything else kind of like I went through way too much to get to this.
Tsuntenshi, like, what's your thoughts on like long versus short anime? Like,
Like
what's your
mixed
preference
feelings.
on that?
I feel like I don't mind long anime if they come to an end. I think like so it's a weird case because like when you think of long anime, you think of One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, and those are like the basically the main offenders for
The
it.
big three.
Yeah, but like also for me, like long term anime can also fall under like say Kuroko or something, right? Like it has
Yeah.
3 seasons and a movie. Like it has a lot of it has a lot of content out there, but it comes to an end, which is
Mhm.
nice. I don't mind those as long as they come to an end. Like Haikyuu's still going on. It has like almost the same amount of episodes right now, but it's still going. I don't mind those so much. I like short anime, but the problem with a lot of short anime nowadays is that a lot of them are just promotions to read their source material.
Basically,
they'll-
that's. I mean,
That's actually an interesting way to put it, yeah.
Like they'll
Hmm.
end and then you just never see it ever again.
Yo,
It's very rare that you watch a good anime and then it's like season 2's coming. And you're like, what? Really?
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
But
You also
I actually
have some of the.
oh, go ahead, Sonic.
You also have some anime too, like Air Gear, for instance. Like, it ends and it's like, yo, I gotta watch. I gotta read the manga now. No, like they're not gonna make another one. Oh, they're not gonna make
Dude,
like
that
another season.
studio is so like notorious for that. Like, Tengen Tope or something like that. It's a
I think it's not Tengen Toppa. Tenjo Tenge.
Tenjo Tenge. Yeah.
I know one of the big offenders for this, how like they don't adaptate the rest of it. Like it ends in one season, was for the longest time No Game No Life.
Yeah.
Is that not getting season 2?
I think it just got one announced, but I think it was like a rumor.
I see.
I need to find like solidified like
Rumor?
evidence of it because I haven't seen like my timeline blow up with No Game No Life. I saw like one mention of it. I'm like, I don't believe it.
It gets me so tight because it's like those anime are mad good, and it's like now I gotta read it. They're not gonna like adapt it for like actual viewing. I'm just like, come on, like
And that's what sucks because like a lot of these good anime, you just don't know if they'll get another season. Like Chihaya
Yeah.
Furu, that just like season 3 just ended. We never knew if we would even get a season 3 because it's been like 4 years. We're like, oh, we're probably never gonna see it, and then they throw it our way. And we're like, oh, is there still life?
Yeah, season 1 was like it was almost 6-8 years ago, something like that. It was a
Yeah.
while ago.
It was a long time ago. Yeah, that's my main gripe with short anime. It's like you just like I like them when they end, but
They
when
end
they kinda,
right.
Like, yeah, when they end
Yeah.
right. But like when they don't end and they basically tell you read like the manga light novel and you're like, why would you
It's,
throw something so good at me and just not finish it?
exactly.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, it's kind of
The
like
thing is,
the
like,
Full Metal Alchemist back in the day
Yeah.
when they
Full
had to kind of make their own story. Like it's basically all filler, but like it was actually pretty good, and people
hearing
actually
about
bought
that.
it as like the ending, and then because like no one really knew about manga back then. Like it was mostly the mainstream was like anime, if you even want to call it mainstream, but
The niche within the niche.
yeah, basically. But and then they have Brotherhood come out, and it's amazing. But like both
Yeah.
Full Metal Alchemist series, people love it though.
Mhm.
Like people love both seasons of it.
But like something like even something like Baby Steps, like I think the ending to the anime was fulfilling enough that like if you didn't look into it, like you would think that that's the ending. You'd be like, oh, they got the whole world in front of him, and like that's it. Like, okay, I'm cool with that. But then like if you start reading it, then you're like, oh shit, there's so much more, and then they fucking cancel it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, another
Yo,
example I can think of in recent events was Kuroko no Basket, where the ending was basically a movie. That's how they ended it. That's because
Well,
that's how the
basically how
manga
it
ends,
ended.
right?
Yeah, so the movie actually added a small bit as well, which is Kagami going to America.
Okay, but like it's
That
basically like the ending though for like the manga,
yeah, the manga ended with the
the Dream Team
basically
stuff.
yeah, the basically that game, and then after the game was over, it was like that's it. That was it. That
Mm.
was it. And then the movie just kind of like amplified that game tenfold, like in various ways.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, it went from like a basketball game in like a park or a street to like a full like stadium game for the movie.
They always gotta blow it up, no? You know.
It's a movie. You can't like. I'm pretty sure they would want to go big for the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this ain't no
especially
park
the end
game
of
in a
series.
movie.
They gave them names too. It was weird. Like Vorpal Sword. It's
No,
like-
they had those names in the manga too.
they did. Okay.
Yeah,
I
the
thought that was
thing
kinda
that
funny, though.
the thing the manga didn't have was like an announcer and everything too. Like they made like a full production, like Vorpal Swords
Mhm.
versus. I forgot the enemy's name already.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's I don't know, I just thought it'd be an interesting topic because like we're moving more towards like 24 episode seasons as opposed to it
Yeah.
just continuously ongoing and whatnot. So I think
I actually
that's gonna be a lost art is like the continuous animes that just go on over and over and over again.
yeah, I actually like the short anime standard a little bit better because it's like, it gives time to stew in what happened, and it's like it also gives time for the animators to basically work on it and wait for the story to catch up. But it's like, I don't know, for me, like I know I grew up watching stuff like Yu Yu Hakusho, so like I didn't know when it was going to end because I was just watching it off of Toonami. But once I realized, oh, it's just 112 episodes. It's a nice. I feel like there's a middle ground. Like it doesn't have to be too long. Like there could be a good middle ground. Like Yu Yu Hakusho is like 112 episodes. Like you can basically finish it within a few like weeks, and it's not something that like you gotta like, oh, if you're coming in, man, you gotta invest the entire time, your entire decade to do, right? Like yeah. So like for me personally, like I like if there's a middle ground, but I also like the short style as well because it's like even shorter and like really short animes, like Fooly Cooly for instance, like which are just like one-offs. Like that anime is only like six or something episodes, and I was like, yo, like it got right to the point with what it wanted to talk about. Like, and that to me, I felt is also meaningful too.
Mhm.
Something from Violet Evergarden as well. Like, there's like, oh, you could write a whole like story, or you could just write a sentence about your life. So it will all mean a lot. So that's what I view it as. But I don't know. I don't want the whole 1,000 episode thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I
it's,
mean,
it's a
of
bit
like
much
for
now.
anime because a lot of them are like anime original too.
Mhm.
So a lot of them
Yeah,
have like
too,
the
yeah.
constraints of like a original source material they gotta follow. Sometimes they can be hit or miss, but I like them a lot because you just don't know what's gonna happen. You don't have like
Yeah.
those spoiler boys like telling you, "Oh, wait until so and so dies." And you're like, "Man, shut the
Like,
fuck
man,
up."
one of the funnest times I had was watching Kill la Kill. Every episode come out every week, and then everybody immediately going on the forums and be like, "Oh my god, what do you think is gonna happen?" Like, "Oh, I bet this is gonna happen," and everybody being wrong just because it was so balls to the wall.
Yeah, that show was super fast. It would just keep escalating like nonstop every single episode.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
man.
like that thing. I don't like that.
Yeah, but I mean, it had to end somehow. I was like, by like episode 10, I was like, I have no idea where they're going with this. Like, it's just it's just gonna
Well,
be
it's like
abrupt.
that Studio Trigger. They did a lot of other stuff that was mostly anime original. I don't think they have anything that's based on a manga, do they?
I don't think so.
Trigger?
No.
Not that I can.
Remember that Trigger used to be Gainax though.
Gainax, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. The young Fooly Cooley and Tengen Toppager and Lagan.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Like
then
the most
yeah,
popular one.
like because those two, and then what did they do after that as Trigger? Was like little
Darling in the
little-
Franks.
yeah, Darling in the Franks.
They did the
I
movie
fucking-
Promare.
Yeah, Promare. My favorite.
I know you know Promare.
You know I know Promare. I have the young
we should do a watch party for that sometime. You have your Blu-ray going or something like that.
I have okay. I I have it torrented with subtitles. I bought it on YouTube with the English dub, and I also have the Blu-ray that has the English dub and the Japanese sub.
And you saw it
Hard
9
part.
times in theater.
And I saw it 9 times in theaters.
I think the
Yeah.
most I have is like buying Your Name like twice in Japanese and English.
Mm. No, like I bought it on YouTube just so I could like go over to my brother's house and like stream it on his TV through my phone without having to worry about it. I bought it on Blu-ray just because I wanted it on Blu-ray so I could watch it on my PS4. And then I freaking just downloaded a random torrent. I was like, I've purchased this enough where I think I'm legally allowed to torrent this.
Yeah. You did put a lot of money into it. That's for
That's
sure.
true.
Yep.
You practically own it.
I think the only thing like I think I dedicated myself to in terms of like anime was like actually Blackjack. Like I don't know if you guys know, it's an old anime, but Blackjack or Kuro is basically about like this. It's about this doctor who's like on the black market and whatnot, and he basically does like odd like jobs, basically being a surgeon. And so I have like almost every volume here, and I think I even have a couple volumes I can show you of the manga. I actually read manga with furigana in it or hiragana. So like I actually have like some of the manga here. Like I think I have the whole collection. So
Oh, nice.
I have it in English and in Japanese. So I sometimes use it to study, and like literally I've just been reading nothing but Kuro back in the day. That was the only thing that I was dedicating myself to at the time. So
Nice. Do you have any other mangas, or is that the only one that you got?
oh, I have a ton.
Oh, you have a
actually.
ton? Oh, nice.
Yeah, I have a ton. So like I have Blackjack, I have JoJolion, I have One Punch Man, I have some Yu Yu Hakusho, and I have Flame of Recca. Right, like I have a ton. Like
Oh,
I use
nice.
this like literally like JoJolion here.
You know,
Right.
I always love seeing those collections that people have of that manga because like manga is such a niche that like not many,
Yeah,
a whole lot of
big manga
people
collector.
actually own manga.
There's One Punch Man, like
Nice.
literally the Japanese one. Like
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
nice.
Wait, you can read
Yeah.
Japanese?
I study it, so
Oh, you
like
study it, okay.
I'm not fluent, so I'm just reading the furigana.
Nice.
Like that's even with most of the Shonen Jump and other publications. If you see here, right, I could bring up a page for you. This is from Flame of Recca. On the side, and it's gonna probably be hard because it's literally from my camera, but they have like the text, and then on the side they have the furigana. It's pretty hard because like I'm doing this through my lens, but like the furigana is always on the side, which is superimposed hiragana. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
use that to kind of study to learn kanji, because kanji is
Cool.
is the
Kanji's
hardest
another
thing.
language.
Huh?
Kanji's like another language.
Yeah, like it's not even some of the Japanese they want to do like all the kanji, like they just don't like it.
Yeah.
Nobody likes learning it. So, yeah, that's why I was like, I'll just get the manga. It'll teach me some words, and it'll help me. So that's how
That's
I was
cool.
able to even play Grand Blue in Japanese. So
That's really
Nice.
cool, actually, dude.
You know, when I was a kid, I had like 4 or 5 volumes of Shaman King, but it was all in Japanese, so I couldn't read any of it. So I would just look at the pictures and I would like make up the story in my head.
I remember in high school, like I started buying like manga, but I think sometime when I went to college, it just kind of stopped.
Mm,
I think the last thing I bought was like a complete collection of like Cardcaptor Sakura.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's buried somewhere. I don't know where, but I have it. It's just not within reach right now.
I mean, I guess I'm kind of fortunate with the manga because like the thing about it is like if I were to get like I'll show you actually one last one. This is one of the blackjack ones. This one's in English.
Well,
It's really old.
that's
I
big.
gotta even dust it off, but it is volume 1 of Blackjack, and it's all in English. So like this one's in English instead of Japanese. But the thing about Blackjack is that the original book for it is like $17 per volume, right, for the English version. But the Japanese books are all like $2 to $3 a pop. Like it's all $1 to $2 to $3. So it's like,
Oh wow.
you know, yeah, it's a very big difference. So I'm like, I might as well just get the Japanese ones because they're cheaper. Especially when you go to like over here in New York, you could get it at Book Off or Kinokuniya. I go to Book Off because you can literally get like the entire like series for just under like $20. So
Sick, dude. Book
Yeah.
Off, huh? Okay, I'm gonna mark that as a place I need to visit once I go to
Hey.
New York.
yeah,
Look at
How about
Hito
Kinokuniya? That's
Shura.
everywhere.
Hito 91. Oddly enough, I bought a few manga in Spanish to learn and practice.
yep.
That's buying reading material in another language is an amazing way to practice that language.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Like I mean, I'm like Mexican, so like I knew how to speak Spanish, but like reading it was so difficult for me until like
I think
I
Giuna
would just
mentioned
pick
doing
up
that too. Like,
like my mom would just pick up random like I would like pick up her like random magazines and like just like try reading them in Spanish, and like I eventually picked up on it.
Ooh.
yeah, but I think Giuna did that too. Like with his train commutes in Japan, like he would just read manga to like practice and learn.
Yep.
Mm,
I mean, it has results, so
Yeah,
I
it
mean-
must mean something, right?
Yep.
I might actually start doing that. Actually, it's a good idea. I'm gonna steal that.
Especially if it's cheaper, man. There's no reason not to, right?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
$1 to $2 a pop per book. So I was like, I'm gonna just do that, and then I got to read all my favorite series and manga. Some of the series I've already read. Like I've read Flame of Recca, so I'm like, I can read this in Japanese and then try to learn it there. Other series like Blackjack, I actually started reading it in Japanese, and that got me to get the English copy to see, okay, did I make any errors with my translation, things like that. So you know, it's pretty nice to have that. Like, and then you get the whole collection, so it's like, yeah. If you want to read it, here you go. I'll give you the book. You can give it back.
They give it back to you immediately. They open it to the first page.
They're
They're
just
like, nope, here you go.
What? What are these squiggly lines in here?
Give it to 6-year-old Qiom making up stories in his head, just looking at the pictures.
And then they'll just only think of one word at the end of it. They'll be like, "Wakarimasen, wakarimasen." I don't understand.
But yeah, speaking on manga though, I was actually kind of curious if you guys prefer having it as a physical edition or reading like a scan of it on the internet. Like, have you guys done that before?
I've done both. Like I read it in Japanese, and then I also read it via scans. So actually, with the JoJo series, I know Araki had released colored versions of almost all the parts. I think he even did Steel Ball Run for JoJo as well. So he got up to JoJolion with all the colored parts. So he ended up releasing scans that are in color. You can't buy them like physically. They're only available online. And I'm like, you know, I haven't caught up to all of JoJolion, but the fact that it's in color, like it brings the art more or less to life for me in terms of reading it as a manga, because usually we read it black and white. So
Makes sense.
yeah, I like it digitally because, you know, I can always go back to it. I don't have to worry about preserving it because I have to preserve all of these manga to a sheen. And it's like when I'm done with the book, I'm like, well, I can't just sell it back.
Yeah.
Right? Or yeah, so it's just like, you know, for me, I like the scans a little bit more, especially since I could, you know, take it on the go too. So
Mhm.
you could take the book on the go as well, but like, what if it rains?
So much more convenient though if you're on the train or something, just looking at your phone.
Exactly.
Like
The feeling
I've
of, like-
personally. Oh, go ahead.
I like the feeling of like reading like manga, like just paper
Yeah.
manga. Like that's kind of how I started it anyway. Like I would buy manga when I saw it at the store, like, oh, a new volume came out, and I would experience everything that way. And as you get closer to the end, you're like, oh wow, I gotta wait for the next volume now.
Yep.
Like
Mm.
that experience is really nice, but I think nowadays, just having it like on my phone is really nice too. Especially like shows, like series I don't want to have a collection of.
Oh yeah, that makes
There's,
sense.
there's a lot of stuff I want to read, but I just don't want to keep it.
The other thing about manga too is that there is a benefit of reading it in the way the author intended or the mangaka intended for you to read it, right? Because if you watch it in a scan, you could literally just zoom in on places so you can read it and whatnot. But for manga, there's literal pages, like there's pieces, like actual set pieces. Berserk is a great example where they use like double page sequences. So they show you the entire panel. So it when you read it physically, it has that sense of, well, this is what the artist is trying to convey to you through their work being as a mangaka. There's a direction in which you're supposed to read. Like, there's left to right, but the way that they have a flow for the manga. So there's a distinct flow for each mangaka in the way that they want you to be directed towards the story. And you can only really get that when you read it physically. So it gives it a little more immersion. But, we're kind of spoiled with the scans as well. So
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree with that. Because like
some scans are really high quality too.
Oh yeah, I know it changes a lot when you see it in real life, and then you see it on the internet. It's kind of like, well, I don't know. Real life sounds pretty good right now, but yeah, I definitely prefer like having it in my hands though when I'm reading it. Like, I don't know if it's because like I'm just that boomer generation where I didn't have the internet back when I was growing up, and I just had books. But yeah, I don't know. It's definitely not the same, and especially when you're talking about like two-page panels, and you're trying to look at it. Obviously, it looks better on the scan, but like when you see it in the manga and how the mangaka, like you were saying, wanted you to see it.
Yep,
makes a big difference. Makes a huge difference.
Yeah, like
well, you can keep talking about. I'm actually trying to find it in One Punch Man because
One Punch Man one definitely has it.
With the two panels, like there's actual like flip book because it's going through each like panel. Like with the Genos fight, with the Genos fight, there's a flip book where he's shooting the beam, and it's every single pane where he's just shooting the beam at.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, there's another one where like Speed Sonic is just literally speeding through the entire forest, and it's circling around Saitama, and each double page is just like he's just getting closer and closer and closer. So it's things like that like, yeah, you go read the scan for it, but you can actually flip through it, and it's like you're watching an anime in the manga because you're flipping it like a photo book. Like,
I remember when they announced that they were gonna turn that into an anime, somebody was like, "Who's gonna be the animator?" And then somebody got all those panels and turned them into like a GIF, and they were like, "Oh, they already have the anime right here. Like, flip through it."
So while Sonic's trying to find that 2-panel, have you guys actually seen or read the online version of One Punch Man, like the original version of it, where it's like
by one?
Yeah.
I have not.
I have not.
Oh, it's pretty silly. The illustration is so it's what's a good word for it? It's so simple, and it just still makes sense, and there's a reason why it's so popular. But it's just crazy that whole story though, like how it became like an online, not a meme, but like just an online sensation into a full-blown production where they put tons of money into the anime and the manga as well.
What was the original one called?
It's just One Punch Man. By one. You can probably or like look up One Punch Man original, something like that. There's definitely like English translations for it out there somewhere.
It's not in this volume, no. It's like another volume. It's probably like volume 5. I'm not gonna be able to.
I'd rather not just like have like all these bookmarks on my phone of just like.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like I'll just throw in like a physical bookmark in like the.
Oh yeah.
I hated trying to find like certain like fights for Hajime no Ippo because they're only in the manga, like they're not animated. So it's like there's a specific fight that I like to reference a lot with like Itagaki versus Imai, where Itagaki feels like things are slowing down around him because he's getting punched in the gut, right? In the match, right? So it's like I'm trying to find this to like explain to viewers like, yo, the idea of knowing what's going on within a match, but you have no action to actually like handle it. So I was trying to find an example for chat but it's like it's in like 800 plus chapters and it's only digital. So it's like I can't find it. I don't have the manga because I did not want to buy like 12,000 copies of it. So I was just like, no, like I can't do it. Like that's why I like the physical copy because it creates like, again, I could just flip through it and find it easily.
Yeah.
Granted, too many copies of One Punch Man.
Yeah.
So
and another reason why I also liked physicals a lot was because back when I was doing like a bunch of gigs with Level Up, like I would go out of like I would be at airports like fucking like once or twice a month and like just be going to other states and stuff, and I'd be like, I'll take a book with me or like a manga with me, and like I could read it on the airplane. Like it's not like, oh, like I have to be in airplane mode, and if I don't buy the Wi-Fi, like I have nothing to do. Like now I'll read something.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, because on the airport, like when you're in the plane, you don't really get Wi-Fi, so you have to find something else. Like, or you can just like, yeah, it's a good point, actually.
You better download it on your phone and waste that space.
Yeah.
And I've nenever had a problem with motion sickness. So also like if I'm going on like long road trips and somebody else is driving,
you lucky mofo, dude.
I didn't realize that was a problem until I was in high school. Like when one of my friends told me like, oh, I'm gonna go on like a 10-hour road trip. I was like, just take a book. And she was like, yeah, but then like I'll start vomiting. And I was like, what? From reading a book? Like, how the fuck did that?
Yeah,
like,
dude.
oh shit, motion sickness is a thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I believe we are coming up on time right now. So I would like to thank the awesome hosts that we have today, Qiom, Tsuntenshi, Sonic, for joining us. And if anyone has anything else to say, go for it.
Botan, best girl.
Watch Baby Steps.
Watch Baby Steps.
We gotta watch Baby Steps.
Check it out.
I'm 90%.
I think you'll like it a lot, Sonic.
Sonic Soul. Watch Baby Steps.
I will watch Baby Steps.
It's on YouTube. It's very accessible. It sucks that it's not like on Netflix or Crunchyroll or anything like that. But
That's even better. You don't have to pay for anything. You just pull up YouTube app and you're good to go.
And if you have YouTube Premium, you don't even have to worry about ads.
Or you're watching on your computer, just have an ad block.
Mm-hmm.
See, when I go to tournaments now, instead of listening to music, I listen to Baby Step episodes.
Kind of just want to close this out with saying, take care of yourselves, be kind to others. Just try to know about what's going on right now, and just keep yourself informed. You don't have to keep up with Twitter because I know Twitter is very, it's not exactly the best place to be right now. But yeah, just take care of yourselves and hope everyone's just getting through this time because it's definitely rough times right now. But yeah, thank you again, everyone, for joining us in chat. You guys have been great. And we'll see you guys next week where our guest is one-time hero, Leo from NorCal. You guys will like him a lot. But yeah, see you guys next time. Peace.
Later, everybody.